Ladies and gentlemen, the final DLC for One's Justice 2 is here. It's Gentle along with Brava, and as far as we know, they're here to close out the One's Justice 2 roster. What happens from here is a total mystery. We may get a season 2, or my hero move on to another game entirely. But while that doesn't happen, we're here to check out Gentle's moveset, and my god, this character is so much fun! This is an awesome DLC, regardless of how strong the character is. His trampoline gimmick allows you to get so creative in a way that a lot of characters don't. And perhaps because of that, he might be a slightly technical character, but he's also honestly not that hard to pick up. And instead of starting this video by looking at Gentle's moveset, instead we're gonna start by looking at Brava's moveset. Yep, she's just there. If you find a Gentle in the wild, don't be thrown off by Brava. She literally does nothing. She just follows Gentle around, and she's filming this YouTube video right now. But let's start with his ground attacks. The ground combo is 3 hits, and the last one knocks the opponent really far away. It's hard to combo from the 3rd hit unless you're close to the wall, or have a trampoline set up already. So the 2nd hit will be your go-to for combos since it knocks the opponent up, leaving him in a really good spot to follow up. In the air, he's only got a 2-hit combo, but it's very easy to link it into anything after that 2nd hit, and most of his damage actually comes from air combos, so this is kind of where you want to be. Next up, let's look at his armored move. His yellow attack is very similar on the ground and in the air, though the air version for some reason has a lot better tracking. It's fairly straightforward, it's got an okay range, and it's relatively fast as well. But because of where it leaves the opponents, it also opens up a lot of options for combos afterwards. In the air, this is also one of his few wall splat options, but because it doesn't knock the opponent very far away, it can be a bit unreliable. That said, Gentle is not a character that needs wall splats, as you'll see later when we talk about combos. Finally, his red attack is this grab, which has a really big hitbox. It can catch jumping opponents and even sidestep sometimes. But the bad news is that it just throws the opponent really far away and doesn't give you a combo. It's good damage, but no combo, you can't dash cancel it, throw quirks or supers afterwards, nothing will connect. But let's move on to his quirks. First up, his Q1 is Gently Rebound. Gentle puts up a trampoline in front of him, and you can hold the button for however long you want to place it further away. You can only have 2 of these walls at any given time on stage, but they will stay on stage for a while if you let them. These walls damage and bounce the opponent away from them, and they also nullify or reflect some projectiles. It's very specific though, you're gonna need to learn which projectiles are countered by this. For instance, Endeavor's slow moving orbs get reflected. If Endeavor throws a spear, it just bounces back into his face, so Gentle ends up being a great counter to Endeavor. On the other hand, Shoot Style Deku's projectile depends on distance. It can get reflected back to him, or it can just fall down to the ground, or it may even just be nullified by the wall. This is a perfect example of how specific it is. And then we have characters like Overhaul V2 who doesn't even care. Everything he throws just goes through the walls, it's as if they weren't there. And this is where Gentle's more technical nature comes into play. Being able to manually place the walls wherever he wants can make this character a bit technical, but it also makes it very easy for Gentle to turtle and run away from the opponent. Because not only do the walls deny the opponent's approach, they also reflect or nullify projectiles, unless the opponent's projectiles directly counterplay him. Our next quirk is Gently Trampoline with Tilt Quirk 1. If you tap the button, Gentle puts up a trampoline on the ground that will bounce the opponent on activation. The trampoline stays there and Gentle can bounce on it, but it's perfectly safe for opponents to step on it or jump on it once it's been planted. It's only dangerous to opponents on the startup. You can also hold this quirk button, and instead of Gentle staying on the ground, he's gonna bounce immediately on activation. And you can simply attack from this move, which is what's gonna give Gentle a lot of loops. The trampoline itself doesn't change characteristics, so whether or not you hold the button just determines if you want to bounce on activation or stay on the ground. And this trampoline does not contribute to the wall limit we mentioned before. You can have 2 walls plus a trampoline, no problem, but you can only have 1 trampoline on stage at a time. Next, with the 2nd quirk button, you get Gently Avant. It's a really fast dash move that has really good range as well. It can be dangerous on whiff or block, but if you hit the opponent, you can also dash cancel into combo or pressure, so it ends up being a really good tool for engaging. Gentle also leaves a trampoline behind him, which is how he manages to dash this fast, so depending on the angle at which you hit the opponent, you might even bounce them into the trampoline, allowing you to easily combo without even spending meter. Though this is going to be very position specific and once again contributes to Gentle's technical skill. This move tracks really well and can give you a good combo reward. This will definitely be a go-to move in neutral and pressure situations. And our final quirk is Gently Sandwich with Tilt Quirk 2. This is also a very fast move, very easy to put in combos, and it puts the opponent on a hard knockdown. So this is your go-to combo finisher. Though it can also be used to extend combos if you have an assist that can take the opponent out of it. Thanks to its range and tracking, it's very easy to confirm into this move, and because it brings the opponent back down to the ground and leaves them there for a while, Gentle is gonna work with a big variety of assists if you're looking to extend his combos. And with that, we move on to his Plus Ultra moves. Both of his Plus Ultras can only be done on the ground, but rest assured, Gentle has ways to return to the ground mid-combo, so that's no problem for him. First, his Plus Ultra 1 is called Lover Mode. Brava finally does something. She tells Gentle that she loves him, giving him a big buff, and then Gentle bounces the opponent 4 times on his big trampoline. This is one of the best Plus Ultras in the entire game, because it doesn't just buff Gentle, it also allows you to keep your combo going after the Plus Ultra is done, and it's not that hard to extend it. Plus, you're doing it with a buffed Gentle, but what does the buff do exactly? Well, first of all, it increases his damage. All of his attacks deal more damage while he is buffed. Second, his trampoline wall gets way bigger, and now he's able to place 4 of them on stage instead of just 2, so he doubles the amount while increasing the size of these walls. This buff lasts for about 18 seconds total after the super is done, and that's plenty of time to unleash a full combo or fill the room up with walls. And finally, his Plus Ultra 2 is Let's Test This Generation, and it starts with a big uppercut that has some decent range. If this move connects, it plays out this big animation.
Let's upload this post haste. A great man. I care about the world.
And it ends with a scene that's not safe for work. And those are Gentle's moves, but this wouldn't be a Globku video without some tips on how to play him. Gentle's wonderful setups allow him to play very safe, and his dash gives him a strong tool for getting in. However, it's also risky because it can be punished on whiff. That said, this is day 0 and the man's already got some good damage. At first I was going with a route that set up 2 walls that just bounce the opponent between them. That's just so cool that the game allows this to happen. Man, Gentle is so fun. But this route has 2 problems. 1, if it's close to a stage wall, it can be completely ruined. And 2, it doesn't deal as much damage as this other route that I found. So, from the ground, just start with 2 attacks and link it into your armored move. This link is tight. You have to buffer the yellow move as soon as you can. A little delay and it drops. So start with the attacks, armored move, and then hold that trampoline button. You go into the air where you basically do the same. Attack, attack, into yellow, into trampoline. Loop that twice and finish with a sandwich for extra damage and that hard knockdown. Now, if on the ground you can't delay the yellow move, in the air you have to delay it. And how much you delay it depends on how high you are. For instance, if the opponent is very high up, you have to delay it a little bit. And then you can go into the loops and, just as usual, finish it with a sandwich. But if the opponent is closer to the ground, you actually have to delay it a lot more, and the combo becomes harder to execute. You can definitely get a feel for it, but if you want to land a more reliable air combo with the opponent close to the ground, you can use your dash. The trampoline bounces the opponent back down to you, allowing you to pick up the combo back from the ground, and from there, it should be very familiar. Now, you may have noticed that that's really good damage for meterless combos, and I honestly wouldn't go for dash cancels with Gentle. I like to save meter for 2 situations. One is engaging with the dash. I bounce towards my opponent, dash cancel, and start the loops. Or if they block, I start my pressure. It doesn't have great block strings, it's all based around baiting buttons and dash canceling in places the opponent least expects. But I can always just bounce out of there and reset to neutral. And the second situation I like to save meter for is his Plus Ultra 1. He's got one of the best supers in the game, and it buffs the entire character. All of these combos we just did gain 2,000 to 3,000 damage while he is buffed. And of course, you can also Plus Ultra mid combo. The easiest way to confirm it to super, whether you are in the air or on the ground, is 2 attacks into yellow into sandwich. You have to cancel the sandwich into Plus Ultra before the full animation plays. The longer the sandwich lands, the more damage, but if the last hit lands, you'll drop the combo. And from there, you jump, do a single loop, and finish with sandwich again for the hard knockdown. The difference between the ground and the air combo is right at the end. The ground combo lets you finish with 2 attacks into sandwich. The air combo only lets you do 1 attack into sandwich, otherwise it will drop. And of course, if by the end of all of this you still have 2 bars of meter, go ahead and unleash pain upon your opponent. They knocked it out of the park with this DLC. Gentle is such a fun and unique character, and it did his moveset justice. It was a good reminder that One Justice 2 is without a doubt one of the best arena fighters ever made. It's just a shame that this team still has no idea how to balance this game. Gentle came with the balance patch that buffed Kirishima and Hawks, and I just have no idea how they thought these 2 characters needed buffs. Maybe they're watching my super outdated tier lists. And that's really a shame because there's definitely a lot of talented people working on this team. Only geniuses could have come up with such a fun and unique moveset for this character. Unfortunately, the team is still missing that competitive fighting game experience, and each patch makes the game even more busted than before. I mean, when the game systems enable running away and turtling so much, with time wasting being such a big issue competitively, they release a character who can time waste like no one else. But honestly, that's not Gentle's fault. I think that's the game's overall systems. Nevertheless, Gentle is probably my favorite DLC of One's Justice 2, and I don't really care how strong he is just too much fun to play. And if this was the last DLC for this game, then they ended in the best possible way. If you've played Gentle, go ahead and share what you think of him in the comments down below. And as always, thank you very much for watching. My name's Globku, and I'll see you next time. Bye!